Hello everybody, welcome back. It is me, your old pal Orpheus, with another adventure here on Orpheus Plays. We are playing Blade and Sorcery today, the only game where you can pretend that you're a medieval murderer and then not get drawn and quartered at the local, inn and right in front there. Anyway, hope you're doing well wherever you are today, whether it's day or night, or you're on your way to that draw and quartering and you're like, damn it, I shouldn't have murdered all those people. Oh, but that's what happens. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about something very cool. Very cool. I used to be a med tender or a bud tender for different dispensaries, and I am going to tell you some secrets, some tips, some tricks, some behind-the-scenes stuff about what it's like to be a bud tender, and a little bit more about the rec industry and the medical industry. So, we'll get that going here in a second. Let's see what we have today. It is a good day for murder. We've got this Sphere to steer. I guess that's a sword with a stick attached to it. This is a fauchard, little French there. And you've got the bow. Just bow. Oh, hey, bow. So this, someone named this the same thing you'd name a dog. I think I have to pick the sphere steer. Sphere steer for. So anyway, yeah, another good day for murder, like I said, and boy, so let's get right into it. I used to be a med tender, or a bud tender. First traditional slow motion kill of the day first, though. This is an extremely important measure to take against these NPCs. I'm going to try to disarm him. Hold on. Not literally, but just... Okay, this will be fun. Anyway, with that out of the way. So, I used to work for a lot of different medical cannabis kind of places. Not a lot, but at least, two of them. And when I say two of them, I mean that there was one that got bought out by another place, and it was completely different in terms of, like, how they ran the business and everything. So, with that being said, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page here when it comes to, she's just barely, So, let's be all on the same page here when it comes to medical or recreational. Make sure that you're legal. Oh, no. Make sure that you're legal wherever you are. Make sure that you're of the correct age and ability. If you don't have it in your state and it's a state over, don't be stupid. Don't cross lines. Don't cross state lines or anything like that. Be smart. So, I started off with a medical card. And in case we're all wondering what I'm talking about, this is a medical marijuana card. I started off with a medical marijuana card probably, had to be about 8 years ago now. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less. Around 8 years or so. I've had a medical cannabis card every year since then. And the state that I'm in actually does 2-year ones now. So that's kind of convenient. Nope, can I just lightly stick? It's a very loving death. So now the sphere steer, which I mean, I think it's steer must mean like staff, right? And sphere must mean sword, so sword staff. Nomenclature. Anyway, so let's grab this one. So for about 8 years now, I've had a medical cannabis card. And when I first got it, I'm going to be honest with you. I used to use cannabis medically for quite a while before I got a card. It was one of the only things that helped with some of the conditions I had going on. And I'll be doing an episode here. Wow, just a little twist. I'll be doing an episode here coming up soon about how I literally had acute appendicitis for at least 20 years, maybe more like 30, and yes, that is absolutely possible to have an acute, an inflamed appendix for decades at a time. It's very rare, but the reason that we figured it out was because after they took out my appendix, a whole bunch of problems that I've been having along the way cleared up, which is cool. Oh, take that. Oh, a little slit there for you, too. And they cleared up immediately, like the day that they took it out. Like, I woke up in the hospital bed and I was like, wow. Like, they're like, oh, you'll feel a little pain and stuff. I'm like, no, I feel fabulous. Right? I feel amazing right now. So I started using medical cannabis a while ago, probably 15, no, probably 25 years ago, I was in California, and I got, there was a guy that used to be named Dr. Ganja, and he would hang out on Venice Beach. He was this guy who was really hard to miss. Long white beard, long white hair, and he wore tie-dye clothes from head to toe. And for a little fee, which I think was $100 back then, but that was like substantial for something like this. He would do a little evaluation, which was him asking you some questions, and then he would write you. It was almost literally a prescription. It was a recommendation, and you could take it over to the medical cannabis dispensary, and there was like one. Like there was one in Venice Beach, at least in that whole area. And so you'd go over there, you'd show them the recommendation, you could buy some stuff. Now, was it good stuff? Nah, not really. But it was what we had. So when I didn't have that available, I bought off the street, man. I have a couple of stories, a couple of videos where I talk about the stupid things that I did in order to get cannabis over the years, including going into inner cities and stuff like that. Don't be dumb, okay? Don't be like your old pal Orpheus, and you won't get into trouble. But long story short, on the medical cannabis, I was using off the street, and I was, it was always expensive. You always had to wait for the dealer. You always had to see, does a friend of a friend... Oh, does a friend of a friend have something? Can they get it to you? The price was always different. The quality was never the same. You didn't know what you were getting. And so finally, when we were here in this state, they first tried to do medical cannabis years ago when we first moved here, and it was beaten in the polls like 48 to 52%. Like 52% of people said no. It was like, oh my God, why? And so it took a few more years. They had it here, and so I went one year, and I just decided it is time. Ooh, ching dao. Oh, anyway. So I decided it was time to stop buying off the street. One of our neighbors used to sell, and so he would. He was not cool about it. He would charge me all sorts of ridiculous prices for things. Anyway, so I had the ability to go and finally get a medical license, and there we go. And nope, don't enchant this. Don't you dare. Well, it's already done. Ha! I hate the lightning. So I got a medical card, and that one, the first one I got in this town was kind of sketchy. The guy who was doing the medical cards was, you know what? Nope, I missed. It's these 9mm Parabellum. Anyway, so the guy that I went to see, mildly sketchy. It was like, it was the equivalent of a Zoom meeting back then. So I think it was Skype. This doctor was somewhere else, like I don't know where he was at the time. And he, asked a few questions. Do you have this kind of pain? Do you have that kind of pain? What sort of conditions do you have? Things like that. Dubstep lightsaber. Sounds like the opening chord to something. Anyway, now I can take a copyright match on that one. But so I went and got this card. The guy was like, "Oh, you got these conditions," and it was amazing because the first time I went into the medical dispensary, it was like there were all of like maybe a dozen products because it was just a new thing in our town. So we had to, kind of take what we could get. And so I went in there. It's just like, some vape pens and some edibles and stuff, and some smoke, obviously. Nope. Darn it. I don't like it when things are enchanted with lightning. This takes all the fun out of it. Makes it into a taser sword, and I don't want that. Taser sword! No, I don't want that. So anyway, the first time I went in there, I asked the guys, what's a good thing to use for an edible? And they got me this, it was a juice product. I'm so sorry. It was a juice product, and I think it was called, Jamba Juice or something like that. And It tasted absolutely awful. And so, like, because of that, I didn't use edibles for a very long time. I was like, if they're all going to taste like crap, you know, I don't want that. So I had this card for about 3-4 months, and this place had an open house. They had like a little celebration, and I volunteered to work at it. And it turns out I was like, I'm really good. I'm really good at like interacting with people when it comes to cannabis. And I was like, you know, I went to the owners and I said, you know what you need? I'm like, do you have a social media presence? They said no. I said, do you have an education director? I said no. I said, you know what? I will take all my time. I will dedicate my life to learning about cannabis, and I will dedicate my life to turning this place into a like a safe space for people where they feel not just, you know, safe and happy, but where they can come and get this sense of community. It's kind of awkward when it started off because people didn't know what to expect, right? Oh, I want this bearing sword. Probably means you go hunting bear with this thing, and I can see it. It looks like a giant bread knife. Anyway, ooh, slow motion. Oh no. So anyway, I said to them, you really need to have a social media presence. You really need to have like a you know, sort of presence in terms of education. And so I started learning everything I could. And within about 4 months, I was teaching classes for it, okay? And this was a very simple place. It was owned by a local couple who were, you know, very well known, had established some rapport in the community. Nice couple, very decent people. They had 2 of their kids that were working at that place as the manager and one of the like the assistant manager. Anyway, so I started working at this place, and back then it was so simple. It was like, oh, what, you know, I want a vape pen. And it was like, what kind do you want? And they said, oh, well, you know, what do you have? And it was indica, hybrid, and sativa, and that was it. It was like one brand. It was one brand. It was Dream Steam, I think was the name of it. And so we had Dream Steam vapes, and there was just 3 varieties, like up, down, and middle. And that was basically up, you know, up, down, sideways, as I like to say it. And so, you know, you had those, and then you had edibles. Now, they were pretty simple. It was gummies and drinks and your basic brownies, I think, was the other thing that we had. And, you know, and then you had your flour. And the flour was like, I don't know, a dozen different types, maybe? Well, these are really short rounds this time. I guess, I don't know, whatever. It's fine. Breaks up the action a little bit. Ooh, spear. Hewing spear. Okay, that's for hewing things. I forgot what hewing means. But the bud, obviously lots of different kinds of bud. It was always interesting to learn about that stuff, like the smells and the tastes and the terpenes and everything. I will go into. I did a video a while ago. It was a Red Dead Redemption video where I talk about like different strains and like what that is all like, and terpenes especially. Terpenes are these amazing chemicals that are in nature that account for basically everything that you smell and taste. They're, you know, things like pinene, which, if you might guess, means they taste and smell like pine needles, yeah. Things like that. Anyway, I digress. I get off on a tangent here. Say hello to brain damage for me. So I was working for this place, and it was your typical kind of dispensary at first. People didn't know what to expect when they came in, and, you know, they kind of looked around, they're like, oh, you know, this is really clean, really nice. Because a lot of them had been used to the, you know, illegal street scene. And the illegal street scene was always kind of scumbaggy, and so people were kind of, I guess, expecting it to be a little scummy. Well, I mean, we maintained a very clean dispensary, right? Okay, so let's get to the secrets and tricks that you may or may not know about going to a dispensary. First of all, and foremost, make sure that you pick a place that's, you know, rated pretty well, all right? Go on to Google reviews or on, I would avoid Yelp, honestly, but go on to like Google reviews or something like that. Do a little bit of research, find out, you know, what kind of place it is, what it's going to have. If you're looking for medical stuff, if you have a medical card, I really suggest that you get a medical card if you can. Ooh, sledge. Lead mall. Ew, this is going to hurt. But I really suggest that you get a medical card if you can in your place. Not only does it show people that you're like serious about things, it's also better. You get access to some better products, more products in general, and also you get to avoid the tax on all of those products. Now, there's an average of about 15% tax on recreational products, and that's kind of, it's kind of a standard. Some states have a little more, some states have a little less. Oh God, this oh, Jesus. Anyway, some places it's a little more, some places it's a little less. But if you have a medical card, you completely bypass that. You don't have to pay the taxes because you pay your fee for the card, right? Okay. So I would suggest you get that. It's a better way to do things. But, okay, so make sure you pick a place that matches, your kind of fee. What the hell was that? What was that? Her arm or something? Anyway, if you need medical, go to a place that's highly rated for medical. If you're more about the recreational, find a place that looks fun. For instance, there are places in Las Vegas that are completely tricked out, right? It's an experience. It's not just, going to some place that's, got a few cabinets full of stuff and, you choose your stuff. I forget what it's called. There's one place that's like, it almost looks like an entertainment complex, and there's like, LED lights on the floor and everything that are interactive, and it's very cool. But anyway, find a place that matches what you would like to get out of the experience. Okay, cool people, hippie people, preppy people, whatever it is, okay? Find one that matches you. Now, number 2. Make sure that you go for all the discounts that you can, okay? A lot of the times, a dispensary and the Budtenders will be told sometime in the morning before they start their shift, or, just in general before they start their shift. They'll be told which products are to be pushed that day, okay? And a lot of the times, into the Brad with you. I've been doing good with the Brad today. And by the way, it's the pit, right? So I call it Brad. Anyway. So a lot of times the med tenders will be told exactly what to push that day, because maybe there's a vendor, or maybe they have an excess of something, or maybe something's going old and they need to get rid of it. A lot of the managers will do incentive programs. Our dispensary for a while had the incentive program. If you sell this many, you can go into the swag closet, which was, a lot of vendors would give freebies to the dispensary to give away for raffles, or for, just in general, samples, right? And there were some pretty sweet stuff that they're trying to get us to have in our dispensary. And so part of the incentive would be like, okay, you can pick something out of the prize closet, essentially, right? And so I'm going to avoid this because this is too distracting. I mean, while we're doing the mall thing, this is called a Dorgan, by the way. So they're told to push these certain products. Now, I would try to avoid the products most of the time that they're trying to push on you, because they're not going to be the best price most of the time. They're not going to be normally the freshest products either. You'll often find that the dates on them, and not a lot of people look at the dates on their cannabis products. I would do that. Make sure you get one that's, going to last a while instead of one that's expiring that week or something, because that's why it'll either be on special or they're pushing it in general. So avoid that stuff, but always, always, always look for your discounts. Okay, that's number 2. Yeah. Now that I've gotten to that point, no. Find a place that matches you. Okay, yeah, look for discounts. All right, that might be number 3. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to count them down. Whatever. I don't really do those most of the time. All right, so get all the discounts that you can. If you're a veteran, make sure that you get your veterans discount. If you are a student, a lot of places have a student discount. If you're military, a lot of places, like active military, a lot of places will give you an extra one. If you're a first responder or a teacher or something like that, a lot of places will give you a discount. Now, not a lot of places will tell you about these discounts. Hey, if you work in the industry right now and you didn't know this, did you know that most dispensaries will give you a courtesy discount if you work in the industry? Not a lot of people know that. Okay, so there's that. always look for the sales, okay? There will be things on sale all the time. And sometimes, so I just went to one of our local dispensaries today, and you always start with the same question. What's on special today? Don't ask them what they're pushing. Don't ask them what today's deals are, or today's featured products. Don't ask them that. Oh, she's just going to chill. Oh, she's just going to chill. Drama queen of the day. Ding, 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 ding. Anyway. Yeah! Nice. Yeah. So, always look for the deals. Always ask them about what the deals are. Because, like I said, I went to the dispensary today, and I asked them, what's on special today? And it turned out there was 40% off of some of the things that I wanted. It's like, sweet, okay. That's very cool. Okay. So, look for the deals. Always look for the deals. Stack them up. Get as many as you can. Crowbar, bitches. Did you seriously just enchant that right off the bat? I am gonna mess you up. Does this work? Okay, no it doesn't. Okay, so, deals. Look for the deals. Stack up the deals. Find them everywhere you can. Alright. Don't be afraid of edibles. Okay, that could be the next one. Just be careful. They say start low and go slow, right? So start with a really low dose and wait. Do not do the thing where you take one and then an hour later you're like, I don't feel anything. Where's my dose? Don't do that, and then take more, and then you'll have a really bad night. Okay. The next one to keep in mind, this is kind of one that is a little pet peeve. If you're going to buy flour, there's two things that you need to remember about buying flour. First of all, don't be annoying and buy just a gram at a time. If they are a place that sells by weight, okay, so not prepackaged, by the eighth or the quarter, whatever it is, don't buy just a gram from a... Wow, she got herself there. Nice. Don't just get a gram. That's annoying to the Budtenders because it makes it so it's almost not worth the time, right? Every transaction takes a little bit of a financial toll on the company, and so they have to recoup it. They have to recoup those losses by having an interaction that is worth it. So when you tell that Budtender to go and get you a gram, 1 gram. Oh shoot! I need a weapon. It's a table. Come on. Anyway, so don't get a gram. It's annoying to the Budtender. It's annoying to the place if they see their Budtenders just getting a gram at a time. Just get something more. Gosh, stop enchanting things. What did I just hit? I just hit a table. Interesting. Okay, good thing I have another controller backup. So what you gotta remember is don't get a gram at a time. They are kind of annoyed with it, even if they offer it like that. Get a couple grams, right? Just make it worth their time. Get 1 or 2 grams. Ooh, I've got this again. I was going for the dagger, but I guess I get the spirit steer again. So don't get a gram. The next thing to keep in mind, and if you go into a place, into a dispensary, and you see that they don't have prepackaged. While you're waiting, I want you to take a look at the behavior of the people and the Budtenders, okay? Now, there's a reason for this. If they have these giant, containers of cannabis, and they open them up and let people not just look inside them, but smell it, right? So you see people that they'll open it up, they'll hold it out, and the customer will go and put their face into that bowl. If you see that, don't buy any of that. Buy yourself a pre-roll. Buy yourself something that's prepackaged. Buy, something else besides that flour. Because I want you to keep something in mind. People are gross. Human beings are kind of gross. And so when you're sticking your face into a plant material, something that's not, it's got potential for picking up viruses and pathogens and things like that, okay? if you are having people breathing all over that all day, you have people that might have a runny nose, you have people that are just shedding skin cells, they're talking while they have their face in it. We used to have to do this, right? We used to have jars of cannabis in our place. And and so people would, I would hate this. I'd have to open the jar and they'd go and they'd put their face right in it and gross. Don't ever buy from a place that has that. At least don't buy the loose flower, okay? Go for a place that has prepackaged stuff, or buy yourself a joint, right? Don't do. Anyway, it's disgusting. Okay, so next thing to keep in mind: some places will accept debit cards, some places will not. Okay, make sure you either look on their website or call ahead to find out what kind of things to expect. Now, what you don't want to do, and this is another little secret behind-the-scenes thing: do not call the dispensary. Tacked to the wall like a fly. Do not call the dispensary and ask them what products they have. Okay? You can ask them what they have on sale. Alright? You can ask them what's on special. You can ask them if they got anything new in. But do not go, I'm looking for hybrid products. What flower do you have that can match my needs? Don't do that. Those people are busy, okay? And when they have to stop to answer the phone, they don't have time to go ahead and help other customers, okay? So don't ask them what all the products are. It'd be like calling the grocery store and asking them, what kind of vegetables do you have? And they'd go, what do you mean, right? Oh, what kind of vegetables do you have? I want to, come take a look. Well, just go look. So, next big tip. If you can, at the dispensary that you're going to go to, if you can order online and go pick it up, do that. Very much do that. It saves you time. It saves you money because you can see the specials right there on the screen. And the dispensary will love you because... The dispensary will love you because they get to get your order that comes, just prints out on a little ticket. Boom, boom, boom. And you get yourself the order all made up real quick and simple, usually before, way before you get there. And then you just show up. They usually have an express lane and go ahead and get into that express lane. You'll get your stuff fast while all the other people are waiting. And there you go. Now, one more thing that I'm going to share with you before I go. And it is very simple. Ooh, a seax. Which means a knife. Ritualistic kind of thing. Anyway, I think it's Celtic? Yeah. So, the last thing you want to remember is this. When you go to a dispensary and you buy like an edible or a vape pen or just like a pre-roll, anything, whatever product you're buying from that place, do not use on site. Don't go get in your car and pop an edible. Don't, go get in your car and screw that vape cartridge onto your battery and start puffing out in your car. I don't care if you are just wanting to party early or if you're in a lot of pain or whatever it is. Not only that, it's illegal, okay, in most places, it can also get that dispensary in a lot of trouble. I mean, a lot of trouble. They'll be fined. They'll be yelled at by the city council, by the local police. They can risk losing their license if it happens a couple times. Just don't do it. You kind of annoy the dispensary when you do that, and it's not good in terms of illegality. So that's my little blurb on dispensaries and stuff. When I used to work for the dispensaries, I loved taking care of people, but the one thing, going back to that point, the one thing that always annoyed the hell out of us was the people buying just 1 gram at a time. Now, I get it if that's what you can afford, but don't be that guy that comes in and goes, what's the cheapest gram you have because I need to get 1 gram. We had people that would come in and pay for that stuff in like quarters. Like $20 a gram, and they're sitting there counting out quarters. It's like, oh my God. So, just be kind, polite, and remember those people are there to help you to find the right products. Don't let them push stuff on you. Find your own products through a discussion with them. They are very knowledgeable most of the time. Anyway, that's my little thing. not that little. Anyway, oh God, where'd I go with that? So we'll see you on the next one. Be well, do well, continue to do well, and treat yourself well because you deserve it. All right, see you in the next one. Bye.